All right, so welcome. I just want you to start by telling us your first name and your grade that you're in, the number of years that you've been in Technovation.
I'm Thanishka. I'm in 10th grade, and this is my 6th year with Technovation.
All right, Tanisha. So what technology resources have you learned to use while working with Technovation?
One big one is Dunkable, because I used to use App Inventor before, so I never really used Dunkable. And then another one is using like online forums, because
What's the difference? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Basically online forums will be like really helpful when you're doing coding and you get like stuck on something hard.
What would you say is the difference between Thunkable and App Inventor?
I guess they're really similar, but the main difference is like the style of it. App Inventor is more of an like older style, so it's like more basic. Thunkable, it's easier to use in a sense because you can put stuff where you want it and not where like that. Like in App Inventor, when you put it somewhere, you have to physically like manually like shift it. But when you're like after placing it in, but when you're doing Thunkable, you can just place it in directly where you want it.
So what advice would you give girls who are nervous about coding and might be a little nervous starting with something like Thunkable?
I would say just like try, because I was very nervous trying to like starting to use Thunkable because I had used App Inventor for 4 seasons before using Thunkable. So it was like new experience, but you can catch on really easily. So like don't worry about it and just try it.
What strengths do you bring to your team when you're on a Technovation team?
Well, I have a lot of like business experience outside of Technovation, and I've been doing coding since I was probably in like 2nd grade. So those are like two big strengths I bring in, and I really like teamwork, so I'm really good at including people.
Oh, okay. What lessons have you learned while being a part of a Technovation team over the years?
I guess one lesson I learned was that you can get frustrated on things really easily, but you just have to move on and keep trying at it, even if you get frustrated.
So why did you join Technovation?
I originally joined Technovation because it seemed like really interesting. I went to like launch multiple times when I was younger, even though I wasn't actually able to do Technovation those years. But the apps that like the people created that they presented at launch was like so cool that I was like, I need to be on a Technovation team when I'm older enough.
Okay, so this is your final question then. How has your leadership skills developed or been affected by your Technovation journey?
Through Technovation, I can definitely say that I started out, I was the youngest one on my team. The other people were 8th graders, and I had like one other 5th grader friend on the team. So I was definitely not one of the leaders at that point of time. But as I like got more experience in Technovation and I started working with new people, those who had not been on a team before, I was definitely able to guide them more and learn how to like lead my team instead of being someone who is in like the back end trying to do everything.
What's your favorite, I know I said it was your last question, but now I have one more. What is your favorite role that you played on a Technovation team?
Last year I was able to like code the whole app and like do the UI. I think that was really fun. But even more than that, I really like doing the business side of things.
Mm. Thank you so much, Thanishka. I know this is your second year as a student ambassador, and I just look forward to working with you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, welcome. I just want to have you start out by telling us your first name, the year you are in school, and how many years you've been part of Technovation teams.
Yeah, so my name's Ava. I am a 10th grader, and this will be my third year part of Technovation.
All right, Ava. So the question I really want to ask you was, how has Technovation helped you to learn new technology skills and to improve others?
Yeah, so I'd say one of the biggest things is going into my first year of Technovation, I did not have much of a background in coding. So through Technovation, I have learned quite a bit, pretty much everything I know just on coding and learning to build apps, and then also learning how to market and like develop them. But yeah.
So what does a typical Technovation session look like?
Normally for my team, we would always start by going over the curriculum for that week and just kind of seeing all the different things we needed to get done. And then we would start brainstorming as a team on how to get things done and dividing up responsibilities to make sure everyone understood what their job was going to be and what they needed to get done for that week.
So do you find that girls are able to choose a role that they feel really comfortable with?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think there's a lot of different options based on what you're interested in for Technovation, whether you're more interested in coding, marketing, or even the design aspect of it. So I think definitely people tend to choose like their strong suits and what they enjoy, just as what they're gonna do.
So what role do you like the most?
My favorite roles are probably one, just coding things and figuring out like creative ways to like get like code what we need to, especially for the more difficult things. And another part I really like is the design aspect and just making everything look cohesive and building an app that looks good as well as works really well.
So what advice would you give another girl who's starting out in Technovation and is not quite sure what her strengths are?
I would say just to try a little bit of everything, even if you don't think you're gonna enjoy, like if you don't think you're gonna like coding too much, just try something simple or work with someone else on your team who is doing that just to get a feel for it. Because even if you don't think you like it, I have found that a lot of those things I did end up really enjoying, even if I didn't think I would. But yeah, just try a little bit of everything, even if you're not super interested.
So what have you found is your strength that you bring to a team, a Technovation team?
I have found one of the strengths I have is in like leadership and helping, like making sure everyone feels like their voice is heard and everyone's helping to contribute to their ideas. Because sometimes, especially if you have more people on a team, it can be pretty difficult to have everyone being heard. So yeah, I think that's a skill that I bring.
That's a very important skill. Final question. Well, I'm going to ask you two more questions. What kind of strategies and habits of mind have you used as you learn new technological skills? What are some of the strategies that you use?
I say one strategy is just like not giving up and making, even if things are hard and it doesn't feel like you're making much progress, just trying different ways is making progress. And then also using your resources, reaching out to friends, family members, or even going online to find help with things can be really useful. There's a ton of resources. And just the more you try, the better it'll get and the better your app will get. And there's always some way to get either what you want on there or something close.
So the final question is, why should girls sign up for Technovation?
I'd say you should sign up because there's so many different aspects to it that even if you're not super interested in the coding part, there's going to be something you're interested within it. And there's a role for everyone. Like everyone would be able to find something they enjoy and something they're really passionate about through Technovation. I think it's a great opportunity, and you get to work with your community and just a lot of different people, and it's super fun.
Thank you so much, Ava, for sitting down with me today.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'd like to start out by having you tell us your first name, the grade that you're in, and the number of years that you have been on Technovation teams.
Okay, yeah. So my name is Sreyoli. I'm a 10th grader this year, and this is my 5th year doing Technovation.
All right, well, welcome, new student ambassador. Clearly, with 5 years under your belt, you have a lot of skills that you're going to bring to this new position. So I'm really happy to have you here. So your first question is going to be, how do you motivate yourself and your teammates to continue to try when things get hard?
Right. So I think just remembering like why we're doing what we're doing for Technovation, it's not completely about the end result, but like learning throughout the way and helping your community solving problems. And if any members on my team are having a hard time, they're like stuck on something or they need help, helping them, like finding what you can do to help them, trying to see what kind of issues they're having and working on it together. I think that's a great way to motivate them as well as yourself.
So can you describe a time that you felt like you failed and the lesson that you learned through that?
Yeah, so there was one time where I was working on the business plan and I was working on it and I thought I had it done, but I was missing one part. I think it was the table, and my friend looked over it and she found out kind of towards the end, like we already had submitted it. But from that, like I learned to share what I had submitted with others, making sure like everyone saw it, making sure everyone ran through it, communicating more, and the following years, I learned to do that better. So yeah.
That's a good lesson for all of us, right? That's a lifelong lesson. Describe a time, what is one skill that a successful student ambassador must have and why?
Right. So I think a great skill that an ambassador should have is having good communication. I think it's really important that they're able to communicate with not only other ambassadors, but also students who they're trying to recruit, teachers who might want to know about Technovation, and other leaders who are a part of it. I think that's one of the most important skills to have.
And so with that, what's an important skill or a few important skills that a teammate should have?
I think a teammate should be able to problem solve well. I think they should be able to notice like what's missing, what's wrong. They should be organized and observant. I think those are some skills that.
And what strengths do you bring to your Technovation teams?
I think I'm a very observant person. I think that I was pretty good at communicating with others. I learned throughout the years how to get better at communicating and researching as well.
Okay, so your last question, what advice would you give to your younger self when you're going through this Technovation journey that other girls can learn from?
Yeah, so I think my first couple years I took it a little too seriously. I think it's important to take this seriously, but also know that this is just for you to learn from. It's a way for you to get experience. And if you don't win one year, if nothing happens, that's okay. That doesn't mean you should give up because you never know what the next year could bring, and you've gotten a lot of skills that can help you in the future.
Thank you so much, Sreyoli. I think that's a perfect place for us to end this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.